Hello and welcome to CEMTV News at 6. I am Francis Oyima Adet. Let's take a look at the headlines. Governor Fubara commissions new neuropsychiatric general hospital in Rumibo. Federal government begins nationwide consultation for sector-wide reforms. Trial for September 11. Accused, including Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, set for June 2028. We'll bring you details of these stories and more in just a moment. Please stay. Many thanks for staying with us. We begin the news from River State, where the state governor, Similai Fubara, has commissioned a new neuropsychiatric hospital and general hospital in Rumibo, Obiapo local government area to improve healthcare delivery in the state. Priscilla Oroko completes the report.
Governor Fubara said the project was conceived to address healthcare challenges in Rumibo and meet the current health needs of the people. He explained that the facility provides a secure environment that will help curb activities such as drug trafficking. The governor urged the local government chairman and the chief of Rumibo to take ownership of the facility, ensuring its protection, visit it regularly, and report any challenges.
So you see, this project we're doing, commissioning today, is a very significant project. A project that has to do with the importance, and not just the importance alone, but the situation of our environment today. This premises was a drug trafficking center. We'll keep people in the rehabilitation home. Our friends, my people, innocently, some of them will come here to play football, while others are carrying back to sell drugs to the inmates. And you can imagine what was happening here. But I believe today, with what we have done, first of all, the environment is secured well fenced. Your entrance to this place, you must pass through the gates. To some extent, it will reduce these activities of drug trafficking in this premises. The next part of it is, we have also gone further to build a 100 bedroom spaces for our rehabilitation of our mentally health patients. Not like the one we had before, but the standard one. So you can imagine what this facility will provide for our people. Some of these things are not deliberate. A circumstance drive all of our people into it. Just like the chairman said, unemployment, maybe other psychological issue. You might be depressed and you believe that when you take alcohol, there's this theory, when you have a problem, you drink, when you drink, after drinking, when the drink fades to my eye, the reality will come back. And that is the truth. So but gradually it becomes part of your life. And that is what we call addiction. So if you have to be treated, even in the developed country, they send people to rehab and they help you to bring you back to normalcy. So what we have done here is to prepare for the current challenges of our time. I know it's a little. It might not cater for all the problems, but what is most important, we have to start from somewhere. And that is what we have done. The second part of this project is, while we were on that project, psychiatric aspect of it, we discovered that the only health services here is primary health. And primary health has a limitation. The tertiary health centers here can only be gotten if you go to the UPTH or you extend to BMH. And we felt this LG is a big LG. At least there should be a general hospital. With this general hospital, the tertiary issues can be accommodated here. So when it becomes so strong, they can now send to maybe a higher reference.
The chairman of Obiakpo local government area commended Governor Fubara for his commitment to the health and well-being of the people. He urged residents to seek help from psychiatric hospital when necessary, while calling for an end to stigmatization, noting that more employment opportunities would help reduce idleness and drug abuse among youths.
On behalf of the good people of Obiakpo local government area, our chiefs and our women, our youths, both those who are here and those for whom they stand proxy, want to very sincerely and heartily welcome you to our dear local government for the commissioning of the neuropsychiatric hospital and the Rumimbo General Hospital. Excellency, this project shows clearly that you appreciate the fact that our people need the best of healthcare. It's one thing to have people, it's another thing to have people who are healthy and who are productive. What you have done is to give our people that sense that they matter and that their health matters to you.
The Permanent Secretary, Rivers State Ministry of Health, Dr. Wachiko Vincent, said the project awarded on June 11, 2024 comprises of a general hospital with accident and emergency, pharmacy, x-ray, maternity, antenatal, postnatal, and mortuary unit, while the neuropsychiatric hospital has a consulting and rehabilitation rooms, a waiting hall, and an electroconvulsive therapy room. Dr. Vincent also said the project includes 216 student beds, an ambulance bus, and a well-equipped powerhouse.
Contract was awarded on the 11th of June 2024. The facility layout is as follows. The complex currently houses multiple buildings with concrete internal road networks. The grounds can accommodate over 100 vehicles with landscaping and mesh wiring fence for a secure and yet contemporary outlook. The General Hospital. The ground floor of the General Hospital comprises of the accident and emergency, consulting rooms, pharmacy, laboratory, x-ray rooms, delivery room, maternity ward, postnatal ward, and antenatal ward. The first floor comprises of the operating theater, surgery recovery room, central sterilizing services department (CSD), intensive care unit, a newborn intensive care unit, pediatric wards, general ward, the male of 50 bed, female of 50 beds, private wards, matron's office, conference room, and other administrative offices.
The CMD of the Rivers State Hospital Management Board, Dr. Bright Obona, thanked the governor for improving secondary health care and also appealing for more healthcare workers to meet the growing demand following the employment of the 2,000 healthcare workers in 2024.
I want to thank you for all the numerous project and developmental efforts which you have brought to bear in our board. We don't have any other way to thank you but to ensure that we galvanize all the resources which you have given to us to deliver effective, accessible, quality healthcare project for Rivers people. Your Excellency, you have constantly and continuously expanded infrastructure in the public healthcare space in Rivers State, especially the secondary healthcare sector. This has led to an improvement in facility attendance in all our general hospitals across the 23 local government area of Rivers State, and of course has improved the healthcare indices in Rivers State. As a result of this, Your Excellency, the current staff strength of our board is gradually being overwhelmed by a rapidly increasing patient load in our facility. And this is simply because we have improved infrastructure and there is increasing public confidence in the public healthcare sector, especially in the secondary healthcare facilities.
The people must always have improved access to healthcare, because building facilities to this ensures that we're able to prevent diseases, provide good treatment to those who need it, and also provide emergency services, and provide for a healthier population and make for community bonding. And I guess it would also prevent capital flight, because diseases and ailments and conditions that would otherwise be referred to facilities elsewhere would also be treated here in Rivers State. And I'm glad that not only have I been invited to be a part of this, but I've also been given the singular honor of commissioning it just a few hours before the end of my tenure as the president of the Nigerian Bar Association.
On the neuropsychiatric part, you can see that there is an increasing presidential focus on addressing mental health. Globally, mental health disorders are the top health burden in the world. And so the neuropsychiatric complex, which has been completely revamped with revamping of the existing hospital, expansion to include training facilities and accommodation, and uniquely a substance abuse rehabilitation center, are demonstrations of that focus on mental health.
Orúkọ Priscilla, CEMTV News.
Away from that, an environmentalist, Dr. Jetchwell, has faulted the idea of dumping trash along the roads. Dr. Jetchwell is a lecturer in the Department of Geography and Environmental Studies, said there should be set-aside site for waste disposal. The environmentalist further noted that RIWAMA is carrying out an intervention duty, resulting in the agency's failure in carrying out its assigned duties. She clarified that the local government areas are responsible for waste disposal and urged citizens not to criticize the state government for disposing waste.
We need to know what is waste and the type of waste. Now, to Professor Nkwacha, he said waste is something the owner does not want to use again. In as much as the owner does not want to use it again, for example, this barrel is finished, the owner does not want to use it again, and he throws it away, that now becomes waste. Now, to some other person, this barrel that is thrown out could become a resource for the person to convert to another thing. Then to Dr. Wokoma, he defined waste as waste's biggest waste. From this book, putting another book on top might become what? Waste to some other person. Now, what are the two types of waste we have? We have the organic waste and the inorganic waste. I just want to define small like this before we really go into what we have for the day. Now, what are the organic wastes? Organic wastes are those wastes that can degrade and turn into manure completely. For example, we have vegetables, we have okras and all that. Those are, they call them waste that can decompose. Those are organic waste. Now, what are the inorganic wastes? For example, we have cement. Of course, we know that cement cannot decompose. We have plastics. We have bottles and the rest of them. Those, just to mention a few, those cannot degrade. Then, having known these two concepts, I now come back to what we have. Our River State before that we call a garden city today. No, let me not toe the line of my presenter or the studio owner so that they don't push me out of here, please. She said some other person is not calling it a trash state. No, it's not. We can convert this waste into wealth in different form. I take a clue from the chairman Obiakpo, Dr. Gibbs Wallu. I think recently, 3 weeks ago, they wanted to launch this waste to convert into energy. There's a site already bought. They've already paid their own money. Because the 23 local government areas are chairman are supposed to come together to fund this thing. It's a federal government World Bank project and all that. But because he's intentional and so passionate about this environment and he's seen the future, he has paid the local government's own quarter of that money into the World Bank coffers so that this thing. So I think maybe the governor, because he's not stable, similarly because maybe he's not stable on seat and all that, having other things to handle, they've not been able to communicate very well to launch that program. But well, we can turn whatever waste we have into wealth. I give practical example today what is going on everywhere. You see this our single-use plastics. You see everybody, when I mean everybody, including me seated in this studio, is scavenging for it. This area now, in fact, is turning into something else. Please help us. Give us a site, an area where we can build, not a landfill itself, but where we can build, where they can just be dumping their waste. We will bring our trucks to come and pack up this waste. And this was granted by the VC and the king of Rumolumeni. And what happened? That has been done. But you still find people. I don't know how they manage themselves to come out, whether they dump those waste at the median in the night when everybody is asleep. You will still come in the morning to still find waste at the median, that's the middle of the road. And you'll be wondering what is happening. I think one of the days we said, okay, maybe you should just keep marshals in the night. And that's an extra cost, employment for extra persons and all that will become marshals.
The people who default will pay for it.
So that in the night, because I know that in the morning, in the daytime, nobody will come and dump waste at the median like that openly.
True.
Because Ruama itself, they have their dumping time 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning. They even try to shift it to 9 a.m. because of insecurity, 9 a.m. to still 6 a.m. in the morning. But you still find that one particular thing that people will still dump their waste on the median. Where they dump, the place they ask from the VC and the king is even close where to dump. You can just stroll out, even with your car or anything, and dump that waste there, inside there, quietly. I mean, I think the people that is really giving everybody challenge or trouble is the public. Now, environmentally wise, everybody knows. There are health workers that go around advocating for clean environment and talking about the dangers of this pollution, this waste everywhere. We have them. Each local government have environmental sanitation officers. They go about still doing their job, which of course I know is advocating, then also sending out waste bin, waste bag, and the rest of them to people and all of that. They they partner with the king's stakeholders and all that. They talk more. There's nobody, I think, apart from a little child that is born today or 6 years old, that will not understand the environmental pollution, what environmental pollution causes to humans. But every other person who is grown, because even this same topic is taught in the school. Every other person knows it. But then you still see human beings wanting to default themselves. Not another, but when I call it default themselves, because somebody who loves a clean environment would take that consciousness to say, let me go and trash my waste in the proper place.
Well, from that, residents have raised concerns over the deteriorating condition of public schools and healthcare centers across the state, attributing the situation to poor maintenance and large corruption. Respondent called on the government to prioritize the rehabilitation and maintenance of existing public facilities before embarking on new projects. They noted that several public schools are currently in poor condition with leaking roofs and inadequate learning facilities. A situation that noted is discouraging some parents from enrolling their children in government-owned schools. Endalyn Chikazier has the rest of the report.
Speaking on the condition of public schools, Miss Rose Moses said the state of some classrooms is discouraging parents from patronizing public education. According to her, some classrooms are in deplorable condition, with rainwater reportedly leaking into buildings during the rainy season. She also expressed concern over the movement of some teachers from public schools to private institutions. Moses urged the government to place greater emphasis on maintaining existing school buildings, stressing that old facilities should be properly rehabilitated and preserved before attention is shifted to new projects.
Because the government are not doing anything about it. They are not even taking care of it at all. Like now, if for an instance, some parents don't send their kids to government school again because of what? There's no adequate learning center, nothing at all. It's in bad shape. Now that it's raining, just take now that it's raining for an instant now. If you go to any government school now, you see that rain is dropping inside classrooms where students are learning. Even teachers, no goods, nothing. Even the teachers alone, if they are leaving, some of them are going to private school now because nothing is being done about it. Flyover, especially in this river state, so many flyovers, but students, everywhere you go like this, there's so much water. Everywhere there's so much water. Let them try and build a, like, how would they call that, a drainage that the water can pass through. It's not about flyover, and still then there's water almost everywhere. Like the place I live, for instance, if it rain now, if you are moving, the water, you will be swimming. It's not even a sea. Let them try and build drainage so that we will know what we are doing.
Similarly, Okechukwu Faith attributed the deteriorating condition of public health centers as well as primary and secondary schools to inadequate maintenance and alleged corruption. She called for increased attention to existing infrastructure and equipment, noting that regular maintenance would help prevent further deterioration and ensure that public facilities remain functional.
Because of inadequate maintenance, and corruption, I would say that, because most times federal governments, they do give money to the people in hands to put the place in order, but instead they take it out and start using it for their own personal uses. And secondly, I would say I said bad infrastructure. It's a poor leadership. They should maintain the existing one, because if that one is not in good position, I don't think people are going to see go for it rather than going for the new one. It's just like wasting money on product that is already there. So it's better off you just make that one to be very, very well presentable than creating another infrastructure.
Respondents also stressed the importance of adopting a sustainable maintenance culture. They warned that abandoning old facilities in favor of constructing new ones could eventually lead to the same problems in newly built structures if proper maintenance is not sustained. They called for greater attention to public healthcare centers, warning that neglect of healthcare infrastructure could have serious consequences and potentially result in loss of lives, as education and healthcare remain fundamental to development and should be treated as priorities by government at all levels. The residents therefore called for a stronger maintenance policy, regular monitoring of public infrastructure, and greater accountability in the management of government facilities, saying such measures would help preserve existing investments and improve the quality of public services across River State.
Most times it's due to bad governance and financial instability, corruption, and stuff like that. They should build them, complete the old ones so that ones can be better for people that is using it.
It has to do with maintenance. So if you are talking of building new public centers, meanwhile neglecting the old ones, I think the new ones will also get deteriorated, will also get misused, mismanaged. So I think where they should start from is to maintain the previous ones they've built, so that, and then orient the people using it, the students and the rest, a proper orientation on how to actually use those things, so that building new ones will be kind of sustainable.
But when you look at Nigeria recently, you see that the education is poor. Even the healthcare, even the ones that's even been owned by the federal government are being poor. You can look at most of the UPTH and other. You see the structure are being poor, and is not a very good thing for we the youth, and also people who cannot afford this thing is not also okay.
In other news, following recent move by some southeastern states to regulate house rent and urgency fees, residents and estate agents in River State have shared different views on whether the Rivers State government should adopt a similar policy. A correspondent now completes the story.
Residents who spoke with the CEMTV welcomed the idea, saying the cost of house rent and agency fee has become too high for many people. One resident, Mr. Solomon, said agents sometimes charge fees that are almost as high as the house rent itself. He called on the Rivers State government to regulate agency fees and rent prices to make housing more affordable, especially as the high cost of living continues to affect residents. Another resident also supported the government's intervention, saying house rent has increased significantly in recent years. She noted that agency fees are often linked to the cost of rent, meaning that higher rent also results in higher agency fee.
Rivers State government should take aware, because people have been complaining about this agent of a thing. The way they are treating people is not good, and you can't tell me landlord will keep his house for a rent maybe 100,000. Agent will come and put 200,000. It is very, very bad. So want the state government to come and take affair in this matter, please. I don't get them. Even for Omagwan, I go find house. The landlord told me self-contained 250. Agent is telling me 450. Say why? That I can't pay for the house. The landlord called me again and said I should come and pay for the house. I say, landlord, you are the one telling me I should go and meet agent. You're still calling me to come and pay. I can't pay because I'm a student. I want government to interfere in this matter. They should come in Rivers State to interfere, because people have been suffering. You can't tell me that people, even most of the business people that cannot afford money to pay for a house, you agent will be making them not to pay for a house. Why? It's very bad. If you watch now, some people are even parking to their place, but they left their village to come to somebody's place to look for what they eat. So I don't know why the agent people will be increasing house rent. It's not their house.
However, some estate agents oppose the government's interference, arguing that agency is a self-employed business and a source of income for many people who don't have formal employment. They said the government should first provide affordable housing and create a proper framework or union for estate agents before introducing any regulation on agency fees. The debate has therefore raised the question about how the government can balance the need to protect residents from excessive housing costs with the livelihood of estate agents if the new system is adopted in the state.
They are not the one that build the house for landlord. They are not the one that the agency is not an employment to government. They are not the one that employ. They didn't give any job to any person. So this is an organization that formed as an agency that they don't have any right to control their organization. For now, until they key into development of employment or to employ agency or to build housing estates where they can build houses to give houses free or for people to come in before you can now control what is called the agency. So for now, Rivers State government should keep away from it. Let the landlord control their affair. They are the one hustling the money to build their houses, and the agencies are the one organizing themselves to make things happen for themselves. And this is business. It's not for government until they employ or they create something that the people will benefit before they can now have access to control.
Government is a responsibility of government to provide accommodation for the citizens. Hence, they are not doing so. And now there is inflation. If you are going to cut costs or agent fee, which market is an agent going? Agent goes to the market. The economy is so high, there is inflation. So as a result of that, let the status quo remain. In ideal situation, they are. But since they have nothing to do, the landlords go to the market and purchase their materials by themselves. So if you ask me, they are not supposed to intervene.
It's good the landlord should cut, the price of rent. Then, when he cuts the price of rent, our own will be cut. So that's why you see sometimes you see that agents like the house rent to be high. But on my own, I really need the house rent to be very, very low so that everybody can be able to, meet up. I need them more. If you as you see me now, I really need them because even me, sorry to say that I was living in one bedroom flat, comfortable, but the way it is now, I'm not be able to pay for one bedroom flat. So I really want it to come. At least let the minimum of a one bedroom flat is 150,000 naira. Because when I started life with me and my husband, I pay one bedroom flat 70,000 naira. So now, imagine now you cannot get a standard one bedroom flat in 1 million. Right now, even a lady that I was looking for a self-con for one lady now, the self-con is 1 million at this radio estate. I was still on now searching for the self-con. The least self-con that you will see now is 500, and it may not be your test. You understand? So that is what I really want everything to come down.
On a national scene, the federal government says 668,000 electricity meters has been deployed and installed across Nigeria under phase 1 of the World Bank Finance Distribution Sector Recovery Program, DSRAP. A disclosure was made known following a briefing on the activities of the National Council on Privatization (NCP) at its second meeting for 2026, chaired by Vice President Kashim Shettima at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President Stanley Nwocha, said that the figure represents about 60% of the 1,033,000 meters delivered under the program as it intensifies efforts to tackle estimated billing and close the country's electricity metering gap. While briefing newsmen after the meeting, the Director General of the Bureau of Public Enterprises, BPE, Ayodeji Ario Ngbelegi, provided an update on the implementation of the Electricity Act, particularly the transition from the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, to State Electricity Regulatory Commissions. He said about 17 states have established their own electricity regulatory commissions since April 2024, following the implementation of the Act, affirming that NCP has directed key stakeholders to work together and propose amendments to the Electricity Act. Meanwhile, the federal government has commenced a nationwide consultation with states and other stakeholders to develop a national water compact aimed at addressing Nigeria's persistent water and sanitation challenges and strengthening water security across the country. Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Utsev, who revealed this in Abuja at the nationwide stakeholders consultation workshop for the development of the Nigerian National Water Compact, said the initiative was necessary to address persistent challenges in the water sector, including rapid urbanization, population growth, climate change, environmental degradation, inadequate infrastructure, fragmented institutional fragment, and financing constraints. The minister explained that the challenges has continued to affect Nigeria's ability to provide reliable water supply, sanitation services, and productive water use. The development of the compact comes amid long-standing concerns over the country's ability to provide safe water, sanitation, and hygiene services to its booming population. On a rather sad note, the General Secretary of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, Emmanuel Obuaja, has died at the age of 60 after a prolonged illness. NLC President Joe Ajero informed members of the Congress National Executive Council during a meeting in Enugu after receiving a letter from Obuaja's family announcing his death. Obuaja, who became the fifth General Secretary of the NLC in 2019, was a veteran trade unionist and lawyer whose career in organized labor spanned more than 3 decades. NLC historical records describe Obuaja as the first Nigerian lawyer to work full-time for a trade union. Away from that, the Director General of the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution, Dr. Joseph Ochegu, has urged Nigerian youths to reject hate speech, misinformation, and intolerance as the country prepares for the 2027 general election. Ochogu met the call in Abuja at a 2-day training program organized by the IPCR for members of the National Youth Service Corps Students' Industrial Work Experience Scheme participants, interns, and volunteers under the Renewed Hope Agenda for Young Peace Builders. It said the program was designed to equip more than 80 young Nigerians with conflict management, leadership, and fact-checking skills to enable them to contribute to peace and national development. According to him, young Nigerians must move beyond being beneficiaries of peace-building initiatives and become active participants in preventing and resolving conflict. Ochogu said the training will also expose participants to emerging threats associated with misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation, particularly ahead of the 2027 elections. In politics, the Osun State Governor Demola Adeleke has pledged to heal the wounds caused by recent election-related violence and pursue an inclusive administration as the state marks its 35th anniversary. Adeleke made the commitment in a state broadcast shared via the state's X handle to commemorate the 35th anniversary of the creation of Osun State, acknowledged the losses and disruptions suffered by residents during the recent governorship election, expressing sympathy with families who lost loved ones and those injured in the violence. He commended residents for what he described as their commitment to democracy and the rule of law, noting that they resisted the temptation to take the law into their own hands despite what there was of provocations. The governor explained that the residents demonstrated courage by turning out to vote despite the violence and defending their votes at personal risk while describing the election as the toughest test of the state's character since its creation. Meanwhile, the former Minister of Power and governorship aspirant of the All Progressive Congress in Oyo State, Bayo Adelabu, says his ambition to govern the state was not a do-or-die affair, saying he will not test the law over the APC governorship primary in the state. Adelabu, in a statement, said his decision was not due to a lack of evidence, confidence, or conviction, but taken in the interest of the progress of the party in the state ahead of the 2027 elections. He explained that the decision was based on a meeting held with some party leaders and representatives of loyalists and supporters from across the 33 local government areas of the 351 wards in the state. Adelebu, speaking, said that as a loyal and committed member of the APC, he decided not to pursue an appeal within the party or institute legal proceedings over the process at this time. On security matters, the Defense Headquarters has dismissed a viral video purportedly showing the Chief of Defense Staff General Olufemi Oluyode making comments suggestive of partisan political support. A statement signed by the Director of Defense Information, Major General Samala Uba, posted on his X handle, said the Defense Headquarters urged Nigerians to disregard the content, describing the statements attributed to Oluyode as false. The military authorities said that the video was fabricated and did not originate from the defense chief. According to the Defense Headquarters, the footage was created using artificial intelligence technology and was apparently intended to deceive the public, distort the position of the Chief of Defense Staff, and damage the reputation of the armed forces of Nigeria. The Defense Headquarters also reaffirmed the Nigerian military's commitment to renaming politically neutral, stressing that the armed forces operates as a professional and non-partisan institution. Meanwhile, human rights lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has criticized the Nigerian Bar Association for inviting social media activist Martin Vincent Otse, popularly known as Very Dark Man, to speak at his annual conference. Falana made his position known in an interview on a television program while commenting on the controversy that followed Very Dark Man's appearance at the NBA 66 Annual General Conference held in Port Harcourt, where he spoke on insecurity. The senior lawyer argued that speakers invited to address lawyers should have relevant expertise or experience in the subject being discussed, saying the NBA's conferences should be platforms for intellectual engagement rather than entertainment. Alana said the choice of speakers should be guided by the subject of discussion, particularly when dealing with specialized issues such as national security, adding that inviting people without relevant experience to discuss specialized subjects could undermine the purpose of the conference. Meanwhile, the Nigerian police force has challenged social media personality Martin Vincent Otse, popularly known as Very Dark Man, VDM, to provide evidence to support his allegation that some police officers at checkpoints share information about travelers with kidnappers and bandits. The force met the demand in a statement by its public relations officer, CSP Ani Iniedu, following remarks attributed to Very Dark Man at the Nigerian Bar Association NBA conference held in Port Harcourt. VDM had alleged that police officers manning checkpoints along major highways identify wealthy travelers and pass information about their identities and movement to kidnappers, thereby facilitating abductions for ransom. Reacting, the police said it considered the allegations serious but rejected it as unsubstantiated and damaging to an institution responsible for protecting millions of Nigerians. According to the force, allegations of such magnitude require credible evidence, stressing that officers deployed to checkpoints and other locations across the country are mandated to prevent crime, deter criminal activities, and protect citizens. In Africa, Algerian Interior Minister Said Sayed and Civil Protection Authorities said forest fires have killed 12 people and injured dozens in northeastern Algeria. Sayed revealed that the tolls rose from the reports of 2 deaths and an unspecified number of injured in coastal Beja province to around 300 kilometers from the capital, Algiers. The report is presented from our studios.
The Interior Minister told newsmen that 5 people were killed in Jijou province, 4 in Bijaya and 3 in Tizi-Ouzou province. Interior Minister Sayed told national television. According to him, 54 people were being treated for burns, including 6 serious cases at a hospital in Bijaya. Interior Minister Sayud and Health Minister Mohamed Sadiq had traveled to Bijaya to assess the progress of firefighting operations on the ground and the condition of the injured. The gendarmerie said 3 major national highways connecting regions in the east of the country have been closed due to forest fires near the cities of Bijaya. The Civil Protection Agency said it had deployed significant resources to combat the blazes, which
And still to come in the news, Lagos sets January 1st deadline for registration of 325 primary healthcare centers with Hafema. To stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us, and now to the concluding part of the news stories. In business, Nigeria's monetary policy should not be viewed as a choice between attracting foreign portfolio investment and supporting local businesses. The Central Bank of Nigeria's primary responsibility is to maintain macroeconomic stability. Director of Deals Advisory at PwC Wells Lucy, who met this note, said the CBN's decision to keep interest rates elevated was driven by its efforts to stabilize inflation and the broader economy rather than a deliberate attempt to attract foreign portfolio investment. The CBN, according to report, has maintained its monetary policy rate at 26.5% since cutting it by 50 basic points in February, even as inflation has continued to moderate. The director also explained that the tight monetary stance has kept borrowing costs high for businesses, with manufacturers facing lending rates of between 25% and 35%, as high domestic interest rates have increased the attractiveness of Nigerian fixed income assets to foreign portfolio investors. Meanwhile, the chief executive of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Rabiu Omar, has warned that regulatory uncertainty could discourage investment in Nigeria's petroleum industry. He said investors could manage commercial risks but needed clear, consistent, and predictable rules. Omar said these in particularly important for long-term investment in refineries, pipelines, storage facilities, and gas infrastructure. He noted that government incentive and reforms may have little impact if investors are uncertain about how regulations will be applied. The NMDPRA boss said the Petroleum Industry Act provides a strong framework for transparency and accountability. He assured stakeholders that the authority will ensure fair, consistent, and transparent regulation to boost investor confidence and support the growth of the sector. In health, the Lagos State Health Service Commission has reviewed operations at the General Hospital Samolu, with its oversight team assessing the facility's compliance, sanitation, and service delivery amid space constraints. The assessment was conducted by the Commissioner 4 on the HSC board, Olmolayo Ololade Fadipe, during a routine supervisory visit to the hospital. Fadipe, who was received by the hospital's medical director and chief executive officer, Dr. Adeshina Ayodele, and members of the management team, expressed satisfaction with the level of compliance observed during the inspection. The commissioner, however, acknowledged the pressure under which the hospital's personnel were operating, particularly the limitations imposed by the available space. They commended the volume and quality of work being delivered by the staff despite the constraints and urged them to sustain their performance. Similarly, the Lagos State government has ordered the registration of 325 primary healthcare centers across the state with the Health Facility Monitoring and Accreditation Agency by January 1st, 2027 to ensure compliance with standards and quality of healthcare services for Lagosians. State Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, disclosed this in Ikeja, warning that no health facility in Lagos, whether private or government-owned, would be allowed to operate without a Hafama logo, which signifies registration with the regulatory agency. Abayomi noted that Lagos State is the only state in Nigeria with a regulatory agency specifically mandated to determine the quality of healthcare facilities. According to him, Lagos has 325 primary healthcare centers spread across the 20 local government areas and 37 areas and local council development areas in the state. The commissioner spoke at the opening ceremony of a 3-day workshop for the development of a 3-year local government and primary healthcare service work plan 2027 through 2029. The workshop was organized by the Lagos State Primary Healthcare Board with support from partners including Engender Health, the World Bank, Immunization Plus, and the Malaria Progress by Accelerating Coverage and Transforming Services Project, among others. In sports, President of the Nigeria Football Federation NFF Ibrahim Gusau and several members of the Federal Executive Committee have resigned amid mounting pressure over the management of Nigerian football. The NFF board came under intense scrutiny following a series of setbacks, including Nigeria's historic failure to qualify for the FIFA Women's World Cup for the first time. The report.
The development also comes as security agencies intensify scrutiny of the Federation over the utilization of funds released by the federal government for Nigeria's national football teams. The Department of State Services, DSS, has reportedly joined other security operatives in investigating the NFF over the utilization of the 17 billion naira intervention fund approved by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2024 to clear outstanding wages and bonuses owed to members members of the national team. Nigeria's Falconets have been forced to make 2 changes to their squad for the 2026 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup following visa issues involving captain Joe Ibokwe and defender Faridat Abdulwahab. The duo were unable to secure entry visas to Poland and have consequently been replaced in the squad by Vivian Kachi and Alaba Olabi. Moses Adukuku's side arrived in Trzebnica, Poland, and have since stepped up preparations for the 2026 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. The Falconets will face host Poland in a warm-up match at the Municipal Stadium on Friday as part of their build-up to the tournament, and will then take on Korea Republic in their final tune-up game at the Remez Resort and Spa Football Stadium next Tuesday.
On the entertainment scene, Nollywood actress and filmmaker Funke Akindele has sparked a wave of admiration online after she and her ex-husband, Abdul Rashid Bele, popularly known as Judge's Skills, are spotted spending quality time together with their twin sons in Paris, France. The moment captured the family at an indoor arcade and gaming center, with the former couple and the children clearly enjoying a relaxed and cheerful outing.
The group was also seen strolling along a Parisian street, presenting a picture of a co-parenting arrangement that appears to be thriving. The clip struck a chord with many Nigerians who quickly noted how effortlessly the two seemed to navigate their shared parental responsibilities despite no longer being together as a couple. Akindele and JJC Skills, who shared twin boys, finalized their separation in 2022 after the musician publicly announced the end of their marriage. Rather than dwell on what was, the Paris footage shows 2 adults choosing their children's happiness above anything else, a move that fans found both refreshing and inspiring.
Game. Yes, I'll take it. Okay. Somebody keep going. I'll beat you. Let's go. Mama Beji. Are we playing?
Big Brother Naija Season 11 has taken another dramatic turn after Biggie handed Flora a secret mission that could completely change her relationship with Aiko. During a conversation with Flora, Biggie ordered the housemate to do everything possible to make Aiko fall in love with her. One major condition given to Flora is that Aiko must never discover that it is a game. Biggie told her to show genuine interest and make the fellow housemate believe that she was developing romantic feelings for him, and also gave her a deadline, directing her to complete the mission before the end of the week. Flora, recognizing the potential danger, told Biggie that Aiko might not be the easiest person to convince, and feared he could tell the entire house that she was interested in him.
And I want Guinness with you, right? That's your little. How many have you won? She was, which is yesterday at Guinness. I mean, I make it a sleep like me. I just sleep. It's not like you are not trying. You are trying your best, but you are not winning. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's so painful. Why people, some people get it very easy.
Yeah.
You work so hard and still you don't win.
That's why I say somehow it's luck, because if you're lucky, they put you with people.
Nigerian comedian Funny Bone says people who wrong others may not face consequences, arguing that bad people actually outlive the good ones. Funny Bone, who shared the opinion in a social media post where he questioned the belief that people who do wrong will eventually pay for their actions, said some people may continue to prosper despite their wrongdoing, adding that being a good person does not automatically come with a reward. He urged people to accept that goodness is a personal choice rather than something they should expect to be rewarded for.
As it on CEMTV News, do ensure to follow us across social media platforms at CEMTV+. I am Francis Oyima Edit. Enjoy the rest of your day.